Have you ever heard someone speaking another language and been surprised by how fast it sounds? You may have wondered, does it sound fast because I don't understand it, or is it actually spoken more quickly? The answer is a mixture of both. If you don't know a language very well, it will sound faster to you. That's why language teachers will often use slowed-down versions of the language so it's easier for learners to comprehend. But there's more to it than that. Some researchers claim certain languages sound faster because of their rhythmic patterns. A linguist named Arthur Lloyd James theorized that you could split languages into two groups. First are machine gun languages, such as Spanish, Mandarin Chinese, and Korean, where each syllable is the same length, so they sound like tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Second are Morse code languages, such as English, German, and Persian, which vary syllable length, so it sounds more like dot, dit, dot, dit, dot. This phenomenon in linguistics is called isochrony, and James claimed that listeners perceive machine gun languages as being faster than Morse code languages. The only problem is, no experiment has found hard data showing that these two groups of languages actually have different rhythms. So where does that leave us? Well, listening perception isn't the only factor here. Some languages are legitimately faster because they have a higher rate of syllables per second. Unfortunately, there haven't been any wide-ranging studies on language speed, but two small studies can give us an idea of which languages are faster. One was conducted in 2011 and ranked 7 languages by speed. Japanese was the fastest of the group at 7.84 syllables per second, followed by Spanish at 7.82 syllables per second. For context, English came in 5th at 6.19 syllables per second. The second study, which was published in a Science Advances journal in 2019, looked at 17 languages. In this ranking, Japanese and Spanish again took the top 2 spots for fastest languages, followed by Basque, Finnish, and Italian. English ranked 11th. While it can be interesting to see how different languages compare in terms of speed, the 17 languages studied are a tiny fraction of the 7,000 spoken around the world. So we can compare speeds among the studied languages, but we can't yet determine the fastest and slowest languages in the world. There's one other aspect of language speed to explore. How quickly do languages convey information? This data point is a bit complicated to measure, but the researchers who conducted the 2019 study found a way to determine information density. And it turns out, despite variations in syllables per second, the amount of information conveyed is pretty much the same across languages. Essentially, languages with fewer syllables per second make up for it by conveying more information in those few syllables and vice versa. These findings suggest that speed doesn't necessarily impact communication. Speaking faster isn't objectively better or worse. Unless, of course, you're a beginning language learner having your first conversation with a native speaker. In that case, you might want to learn how to ask them to slow down.